hi to each other. Hello. Okay, class, let's take a look. Please off the mic. Okay. So we are in the chapter 4 now. Is regards to three vehicle. Okay. Okay. We are still in the stage 1, explaining the differences in the types of people who undertake this path. So generally, Shravaka are the main audience of the three vehicle. So meaning to say that in our perception, we always think that, oh, Theravada monk or something like that. But anyway, besides the monk only, the three vehicle includes, those preferring household lifestyle, also monastic lifestyle. Okay, so today I think we are expect to finish cover the scope of the faith-oriented and the more rational, the different type of the people. So let's take a look. In our previous lesson, okay, we mentioned regards their character. Let's see first. Okay, so in previous lesson, we stop here is the verse number 64. Although they have different character, they can cultivate the renunciation of the world in the similar way. Class, basically, even though you are the Shravaka, we got in simple way how we can categorize people with two types. One is the faith orientation. Second, they are the rational orientation. If you are the faith orientation, meaning to say that you are quite dependent. You're quite dependent to your teacher. You are quite dependent to the Buddha. And you are quite loyal. To the instruction. And then you will stick to it. Okay, from the beginning to the end. Okay, so this is the first type of people. The second type is a rational type people. Is quite totally different. Rational type people is the people. You will notice that they are quite independent, especially once they are equipped with the sufficient knowledge. They will be independent, and they have their own ways to do things, and they will be the good teacher finally. So the first type of people basically they are more, it is more easy for them to attain samadhi. Why? Because it's easy for them to build out the faith. Faith is quite important in doing the samadhi. And second, the rational people, it's quite hard for them to attain some samadhi. Why? Because they're asking a lot of questions. They're asking a lot of questions. So it's quite hard for them. They analyze a lot, asking a lot. But anyway, if let's say, you shift to the vipassana, rational type people can do better than the faith-oriented people. So that is two types of the people we mentioned previously. So let's take a look. Then now we go to the next paragraph in the past. Okay, Yokwan, can you please read the passage in the past? No, we finished already.
We are starting from 64.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I think. I think
because last week no class.
Oh, okay. I think I marked a wrong one. Wait lah. We should start in the verse
64.
64. Wait lah. I think I highlight my notes already. 64. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. 64. Yeah, we already. Okay. Please, you can start now. Although they have different characters.
Although they have different characters, they can cultivate the renunciation of the world in similar ways. Amongst those who had the resolution to renounce, there were Shravaka, Prajakta Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, lay people, and monastic. Those living alone and those living among people. Those whose behavior follow their beliefs and those whose behavior follow their understanding. Despite their different characters and styles, all could equally cultivate the behavior associated with renunciations and achieve the goals of liberations from birth and death, provided they really had the resolution to renounce. Ordinary people always judge everything in terms of their own characters and preference. Unaware that the study of Buddhism, that is the Dharma common to the three vehicles, accommodates different types of persons. Those who will believe more than understanding look upon those who study the meaning of the Dharma as people who do not practice. They believe that they themselves are better endowed to practice. Those who emphasize wisdom and understanding more than faith look upon the behavior of those who value belief as blind practitioners. For practice can instead be blind, depending on the teacher's instructions. As well, those who are inclined towards living in the mountains and forests praise the simple and austere life. They even say whatever we do is asceticism, which wherever we dwell is a hermitage, and they look down on the bhikkhus who live among people. Those who travel among people usually deprecate the hermit discourse, saying that they are selfish. Finally, the lay and the monastic people frequently distance each other because of their different viewpoints.
Okay, thank you so much. The mic can stop here. Yeah, please highlight the point. Okay, class, let's take a look. So for this paragraph, meaning to say that we got different type of the people. Okay, basically in Buddhism, we have tendency to mutual disdain or criticize to each other because people have the tendency. They don't believe that actually different people we have a different, a capacity. So there will be a different style, there must be a different way to suit them. So for example, here we got two types of people. Number one, the first type of people, they are more emphasized on ascetic practice, meaning to say that they will stay in aranya. We call it as a jungle. So we call them as a forest monk. So we call them as a forest monk. Here is how is the forest monk lifestyle. You see, let's see. Forest monk. So let's take a look. Basically, forest monk, they stay in the forest. Okay, some they will just maybe if they're very some they build up the kuti in the forest. Okay, you see this is a semi-open, so the air will be flow in. Then you can go out and meditation and feel the meditation, enjoy the fresh air. So this is the forest monk. Okay, basically forest monk, they won't stay in a big group. Why? Because they need more solitude. So they will stay in the big group. So this we call it as a forest monk. But there's a different type of people, we can call them as a city monk, where they will stay in a quite a big crowd. So we call it as a city monk. Basically, this group of people, we notice that the number are more than, I mean, the forest monk. You see, it's a big group of people. Basically, the city monk, because they come by group, they can help. I mean, they can do more helping. Since they stay close. I mean, they stay in the monastery. And if let's say, I remember I was once traveling to the Cambodia. So in Cambodia, basically in Phnom Penh, for example, we got a few villages. So this monastery, they will serve that particular village. Okay, meaning to say that if your children got birth, okay, if people occupied by the ghosts, they'll come to see the monk, okay, sometimes they got sick, also come to see the monk, and people die, also ask for the monk help, and reciprocally, they will offer to the monk, see or not. So this is how the city monk they will do, meaning to say that they can outreach to the public easily, compared with the forest monk. So basically, this type of the city monk, they stay in a big group, they will criticize that the forest monk is very selfish. Why? Because in forest, you don't really outreach to the people. So after they pindabat, they will come back. Some they will walk maybe 10 km for pindabat, then they come back. Once they come back, no limit can outreach them already, you see. So they will spend all the time in meditation. But for the city monk, they will view them as a selfish monk. Okay, but for the for the forest monk, the way they see the village, the city monk, it seems like they are, they don't really, the environment is not good enough for meditation. So this is something happening now. But in previous lesson I mentioned, nowadays we don't see any forest monk or city monk. Now we just have a Zoom monk. I am the Zoom monk. You can see I stay in the city, but if let's say I don't go out, okay, see now COVID, you all can come here. So what city monk am I? I don't feel I really outreach to the crowd. No, I don't meet any people. I stay here. People deliver me the food. You never come here also. It's just like I stay in the city, but I can outreach you all easily, right? So I think Zoom monk is the best monk among city monk and village monk. Yes, Amanda, got a question? Yes. No question, okay, So well, it's my pleasure for being Zoom monk, okay. So no need. So I enjoy all the facility, because if you stay in forest, it seems very romantic, right? Let's take a look. Well, it seems it looks romantic, right? But you will notice that if you really stay in the jungle, the weather is very cold. You can't access to the hot water, and sometimes if you got sick, really quite painful, no people care with you. So you just call the deva come to help you. Some they will just die out there, it can happen like that, Oh, some they stay in the cave, they end up become what, skeleton only. Although people know you, you'll be there, you see, here it's still very good, If I feel very pain, so I will call Grab, then we'll go to the Panda hospital near here. I got my medical card. See, I used it before, I have undergone 2 operations, One is a gallbladder stone, Another one is the kidney stone, Wow, it's so painful. If I stay in the forest, I will pay until die, you see. See, so meaning to say that each one of the lifestyle, they got the advantage and disadvantage. So you have to know that. So no need to criticize. For me, I think I prefer become Zoom monk because I'm good in teaching. So it is good for me having the class every day. But if you're not good in teaching, so better you become what monk? You become a meditation monk. Don't go to Zoom because you don't know what to talk already. So if you go to Zoom, you just stare at the people. You stare me, I stare you. Nothing to talk. So you don't have a frequent. It's not necessary to have frequent class for meditation monk. Just to meditate yourself. Okay, that will be enough, and do some little bit pressing to get some the living requisite. Okay, so after this paragraph, now we go other 2. Okay, let's take a look. We got some terminology. Again, class, maybe I would like to highlight to you. let's take a look. This is Sravaka, Prachika Buddha, and Bodhisattva. Okay, Sravaka, Prachika Buddha. Yongxin, can you tell the difference? Let me check whether you remember or not. What's the difference between the Sravaka and Prachika Buddha?
Cannot recall now.
Yeah, cannot recall. Okay, I give you some hint. It's about the teaching. It's because it's about the teaching.
I think we learned about this last lesson.
Yeah, Practical Buddha meaning to say that they're all self-learning, like you all learn everything from YouTube. Right? Nowadays people, whatever problem, they just go for YouTube, then they can settle already. Even though you want to make a cake, I do the same thing, you know. If today I want to cook a new food, I just go to YouTube. So am I Practical Buddha? No, Practical Buddha means what? They can enlighten by themselves. The reason is they have a knowledge. They know the skill of the vipassana. So this is everything is in the habitual. They learn from the past life. So this life they remember. So Practical Buddha enlightened by themselves without teaching. Sravaka Buddha have to learn from. Have to learn from third party lah. Nowadays, even though you learn from Facebook or YouTube, it's still considered Sravaka if you got enlightened already. Okay, if you haven't enlightened, so how should I call you? So just become a Facebook monk or YouTube monk only. Or YouTube layman, every day watch YouTube only. Okay. All right, so this is, okay, if let's say you cannot remember all this, class, I wish to remind you one dictionary again. Okay, what can you remember? What dictionary to go to look through? Yeah, Buddhist Door Dictionary.
Buddhist. Okay.
Okay. So look for this. A Buddhist Door Dictionary. This is quite good. It will include a lot of Sarvastivada and Mahayana texts. So let's go for it. Dictionary Buddhist Door. Okay. So let's say we put here Sravaka Buddha. Okay, no dictionary have been found. I think maybe let's see. Prachika Buddha. Maybe pronunciation not that good. You see, class we have to select the accent. You see, A one dash and above. So this is a Pali or Sanskrit It's quite different with English because I ignore all this. Oh yeah, so I couldn't find it. I don't know why. Okay, so this is how you look for. Then you see one more I forget for those who emphasize the wisdom understanding the way they look at the faith type people, they will criticize them as a blind practitioner. Why? Because they're everything based on faith and belief, so they don't ask much, they don't ask many, so just like a blind only, blind learning only. Basically here you wouldn't blind learning because I'm the one. I prefer asking questions and I prefer learn things in the details. So I will basically guide you in this way. But anyway, for some teacher, maybe their character also is a more faint type. So you can ask them too many questions, they cannot answer you. So that is a different approach. Okay, next, one more terminology you see, excestism, mean the dutta. So let's take a look. Let me try to search for it. Dutta. Dutta means to tanga. Let's see. Okay, dutta. Let me check. Dutta, you see, duttanga. Dutta. Excestism it means what? Excestism meaning to say that you will practice all the 12 of the Duttanga practice. Let's take a look. You see, you can search in this way. Take a look. You see a definition of Duttanga. There's totally 12 according to the Visuddhimagga. Okay. Maybe I can simply explain to you Duttanga. Okay. All is about what? Eating, the eating habit, staying habit, your clothes, or 衣食住行, all is about this. For example, if let's say you eat, you are allowed to eat one meal one day only. Okay, one meal one day. Remember, 玉华，你还记得肥 Ken 吗 ？Do you remember Fat Ken?
Yeah.
Fat Ken. Well, I mentioned to him, one day one meal. He said, I think I will die for starvation because Fat Ken is about 120 kg. And he said, oh, I will die. I think. The best way to kill him is ask him to practice the tutanga or maybe no food after noon time. It's the best way to kill him. Is okay. So it's basically usually one meal only. They just eat about 10 a.m. They will go up in about 10 a.m. So one meal only. But one meal they'll eat a lot so that they can. Because they can only eat after 24 hours, you know. Maybe so they have to try. I think all your eczema will die out already. They die for starvation. All eczema. Okay. So number one. Second, maybe you are just allowed to eat one bowl of the food only. You can't take more than one bowl. Once finish one bowl, cannot take more. Or maybe you can just you just for one sit only. Meaning to say, once you sit down, you cannot go up already and go to collect the food. Cannot. Once you sit down, I mean the food. I mean you can just go for one round only. Once you sit down, you cannot walk up again and take the food. Like buffet. Buffets, you can take as many as you like, right? Okay. But here no. So this is all we call it as excessive practice. Even the clothes, you just allow have 3 pieces only, okay, and then if you stay, basically they won't stay in the building like me, they will just stay under the tree in the graveyard, or maybe just under the big tree, something like that, all sounds romantic, right? I think you have a try, then you know. Even though raining, they're still under the umbrella, but maybe they can go to the cave, just escape from the rain. But basically, it's not. You have to endure everything for tutanga. This is what we call it as tutanga. Let me check to you the proper definition. Means what excessive or austere practice. This is the strict observance recommended by the Buddha to monks to cultivate the contentness, renunciation, energy, and the light. So I think there's totally 13 to tanga. Okay. So I think maybe you please copy down. Help to cultivate contentness and renunciation, something like that. That will be enough already. So you understand to tanga. Then you can write down 13 to tanga. For example, then go for alms. Okay. Eating at one sit, we just put 2 example. Go for alms. Pintapati kanga. Eating at one sit. Eka sanikanga. Okay. Yeah, basically, you can hardly find a fat monk into tanga practice. How can they become fat? You can get a fat monk only in the city only. Why they become fat? Because the layman offer them all the rubbish food and the junk food, so make them so fat. Every day with Coca-Cola and KFC in Thailand. Okay. So you can just put an example, eating at one sitting and go for alms. Okay, class basically like I think if you go for the membership program, it is good for you to experience alms. Look, going for alms is very good because you have to. I mean, it depends on people provide you the food and then you have to bow down. You have to keep your ego down. It's good experience. If you possible, you go to alms round. Actually, I think Germany also got some Buddhist temple you can visit later on. Mahayana Theravada both got you can try.
I think so. I'm still finding.
Yeah. I should got one. Okay. So possible, just join a membership program. Since here we emphasize also meditation, you join the program after Pindabat, try this type of forest lifestyle, and then you can do the meditation. Then you can really enjoy the environment. Okay, so this is a few terminology to remind you all. Then you see, it was there in a hermitage. We call it as aranya. Aranya means the hermitage, especially you stay in the jungle. So we call it as aranya. The aranya nowadays, they got a quite different style already. You see, for example, if you go to Sasanaraka, Kuti, yeah, if you go to the Sasanaraka Kuti, let's take a look. Oh, what is it? Sasanaraka. Sasanaraka Buddhism. Yes, this is Sasanaraka. We don't see the kuti, but I want to show you the kuti. The kuti is the 5-star hotel kuti. Nowadays, world is changing already. Just how we see in the forest, a very simple kuti, right? Very simple only. But now you can get the 5-star kuti also. Even though the Theravada, so it depends on which one you go. But I think the basic necessity must be enough. Aranya, the point meaning to say that you have to be distancing yourself from the public. Then you can really have a quiet lifestyle. Next paragraph, Amanda, your turn to read, please. In the past.
In the past, Buddhism emphasized the monastic life. Followers left home whether or not they were suitable for the monastic life, could content themselves with little and detach themselves from thoughts of wealth and family. For the most part, however, their characters were not suitable for living home, so the standards of the Sangha fell. They competed for fame, profit, and enjoyment. Under the guise of transmitting the Dharma and benefiting others, they competed for influence and territory, or they gathered disciples and competed for devotees, creating a factionalism that was irrelevant to the Buddha Dharma. Maybe they were better suited to be lay disciples. They might have practiced and reached greater virtue that way. In short, since there are different characters and different style in the study of Buddhism, one should respect others and know oneself.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Okay, class, basically here also, for Stravaka, basically, a monastic life is the majority in order to become a Stravaka monastic life. But for some laymen, it's quite hard for them to practice the monastic life due to they still have a lot of commitment. So we understand that. Well, I think the way I see nowadays laymen in Malaysia, well, it's not that bad if you become a layman. You see, if let's say you see, you got your own apartment, right? You stay in your own apartment. You already have your own retirement fund, okay? So if necessary, okay, maybe you can come early to do some group sitting, and you can learn by Zoom. Looks good what? Looks good what? Okay. Not that necessary become a monk, not that necessary. But why you choose to become a monk? I think the advantage number one is for Dharma propagation, monk. As a monk, which is more convincible. People have confidence. They learn Dharma from a monk. The very beginning, number one. And second, once you become a monk, basically we have a privilege. You undergo the training, especially you go to study Buddhist monastery, Buddhist institution. They will prioritize monk. Then monk got a lot of benefit in terms of medical, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of medical, in terms of basic requisite. So we have a ceremony or do the offering to the monk and provide the monk for study all this. So as a monk, you will got some advantage. Okay, but I think if you are young and you are quite interested in Dharma or teaching, preaching, and you're quite interested in go to different country and learn, I think maybe monk is a better option than the layman. But if let's say you are quite in the middle age, like Sally, you are, I think Sally and Gamling not necessarily become a monk. I think maybe you stay in your apartment is the best for you. Maybe if you become a monk, you have to adapt again. You have to begin everything again, and you are quite old already. So the way I see nowadays, not that necessary. It depends on the situation, and depends on your needs, and depends on your age, and depends the temple which is available. And because choosing a good temple provide you better education itself is so important for all monks. You see, if you become a monk but without undergoing a proper education, so no point to become a monk. Education is so important, and the training, no matter samatha, vipassana, all this. Okay. Anyway, if as a layman, you meditate quite well, you still can become a Stravaka. So we should understand and mutually praise to each other without not condemning to each other. So there's a different character. So meaning to say that in Stravaka, maybe some is a wisdom type people, some is a faith type people, some is a layman, some is a monk. So they're different. And in the monk, some monk they stay in the city, and some they stay in the kuti in the village. Okay, so there's a different type. No matter how, everything have to go back one thing. You have to learn the Four Noble Truths. We begin with the Four Noble Truths and dependent origination. So this is about. This is about. The cause, the mandate cause and effect, and supra-mandate cause effect. Yes, SJ, can you please read it?
The Four Noble Truths and Dependent Origination. The way of liberation as taught by the Buddha is the Four Truths and Dependent Origination. All the profound Buddha Dhammas are evidenced by this. Although the doctrines that the Buddha taught to people of different capacity are infinite and boundless, the way of liberation is, in brief, contained within the doctrine of the Four Truths and Dependent Origination. Apart from this, there is no word transcending Buddha Dharma. Truth means non-distortion. Truth is that which is real. The Buddha's word transcending doctrine has four aspects: suffering, accumulation, extinction, and the way. That is correctly reveals the specific characters of the human world, suffering, and its cause, accumulation, and it explains the state of overcoming the world and being rid of suffering, extinction, and the method for doing so, the way. One has to recognize the suffering in life and its causes. Then, in the process of extinguishing these causes, one can realize the truth and be liberated from sufferings, limitless birth and death. Dependent origination is not particularly different from the fourth truth. It is concerned with the discovery of the origin of suffering and with the inexorable law of the mutual conditioning of the causes of suffering and its effects. The origin of suffering and the law of cause and effect are found by thoroughly investigating the reality of suffering. The way this law operates is the ignorance, conditions, volitional action condition consciousness, consciousness condition mental and physical phenomena, mental and physical phenomena condition the six faculties, the six faculty condition contact, contact condition sensation, sensation condition desire, desire condition clinging, clinging condition existence, existence condition birth, birth conditions aging, illness, and death. These are the classic 12 links of dependent origination. Actually, this is the explanation of the first and second truth, suffering and accumulation. In the form of a series, dependent origination hold that suffering and accumulation are dependent on conditions, relationship factors, and causes for their genesis and existence. So if the conditions are changed, they can be extinguished. Their being extinguished will lead to emancipation, the third and fourth truth of extinction and the way. The main outline of the following explanation therefore follow the fourth truth, but the doctrine of dependent origination will be explained as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Now we go to the core of the Buddhism teaching, Four Noble Truths and also the dependent originations. This is the core of teaching. Okay, class, take a look. Now we talk about the Four Noble Truths. First of all, the definition for the Four Noble Truths. What is the truth? Truth meaning to say, he say, this is the reality or non-distorting. So we call it as the truth. Four Noble. Well, basically, Four Noble Truths, we will see that in Mandarin, we call it as Ku, Ji, Nie, Dao. So Ku, number one is the suffering. So there must be reason for the suffering. Basically, the definition of the suffering, there will be 8 types of the suffering, and the suffering mainly pinpoint is the 5 aggregate. Okay, this body. And then what is the cause for this? Is due to the ignorance. Basically, we said ignorance cause, this 5 aggregate. Once we have the 5 aggregate, then we have all the other suffering. So this is the truth number 1. Okay, we call it as a mandate, it's a mandate cause and effect. Then the second is a supra-mandate cause and effect, meaning to say that there will be 灭道. Okay, 灭道, means the nirodha. Okay, it's the extinction, and Tao is the path. So you see, our path is the effect, and no, extinction is the effect, and the path is the cause. So what path is it? The path will be the 8 noble truth, 8 noble path. So by using the 8 noble path, we might be leading to the extinction. See or not? So we need to say 4 noble truth are cause effect, both are cause effect. So for the suffering is the effect, and the cause is due to ignorance. So this is the mandate cause and effect. Another one is a supra-mandate cause and effect, which is the extinction and the path. Path is the cause, and the extinction is the effect. So that is the meaning we call it as the 4 noble truths. How come it becomes a cause? Because once Buddha entered to the enlightened, he first met the 5. The 5 bhikkhu. We call it as the first sermon or something like that. See, let's take a look. See, 5 bhikkhu. Buddha met 5 bhikkhu. So this is the first teaching of the Shakyamuni. You see, the first teaching of the Shakyamuni. So he started to giving teaching, and he teaches the 4 noble truths. By just the simple words only, 4 noble truths only, then according to the Nikaya, they all enlightened already. Like what I'm telling you just now, they all enlightened already. But here we don't enlighten. Okay. So that's why basically most of the meditation in Theravada, they will use the 4 noble truths. They will use the 4 noble truths to explain their meditation skills. Okay. So number 1 is the 4 noble truths. And then the second, we call it as a 12-link condition. All right. So this is the 12-link condition. Well, in order you can have a better understanding, maybe I can show you a diagram, then you will have a better understanding. So let's take a look. Okay, sorry. Dependent origination. Charts. Okay, class, take a look. So this is the dependent origination. Maybe I prefer, I think use this. Okay, class, take a look. You see how. So this is the diagram for the dependent origination. I cannot extend it. Okay, let's take a look. Basically, for the 12, this dependent origination, there's totally 12 elements. It explains how do we reincarnate from the past life to this present life, and how are we going to create the karma and then reborn from the present life to the future life. That is the meaning. of the 12th life condition. Well, it is quite related to the Four Noble Truths. I don't want to confuse you now. So you see, class, take a look. So this is the past life, you see not? Past cause. So the past cause is this two things, you see. Okay, so the past cause is this formation. I can't see properly. Okay, clearer here, see. Ignorance and the mental formation, they are the past cause. Once you got the ignorance and mental formation, you will have a present effect. Present effect meaning to say that it's the consciousness, mind and body, all this, etc. And with the present cause, you have a craving, attachment, and becoming, then you will have a next life. So which is the birth and the aging and the death, you see. According to the legendary, Shakyamuni enlightened due to observing this dependent origination. Okay, again, you'll be very surprised. Now I tell you already, but nothing changed to you. Maybe you just increase more puzzle. How come like that? Chop so many things. But according to the legendary, Shakyamuni enlightened already. Okay, well, anyway, we have to go deep, understand. We will explain, in a deeper way. Okay, class, can you have, is it possible for you, please try to draw this diagram a little bit, or maybe just, okay, let's see. Okay, class, please just, here is more, you see class here, all the thing, if the facts put in this way, it's not easy for you to remember. Yeah, please copy down the diagram a little bit. Doesn't matter. Please copy down the diagram a little bit. Yeah, just copy down fast. Okay, just accordingly, just do a little bit copy, then you can remember better. Yes, Kamling, how do you feel with the diagram? Is it look like pizza or look like donut, Kamling?
Real view.
No, it doesn't look like pizza. They will make a joke to help you to understand. You can remember it better. Yeah, I think for Sally, it looked like a cake, right? Cheesecake, right, Sally? Because you prefer bake cheesecake. So you can remember they got so many pieces here. Okay, they got a few pieces here. You see, they got totally one. You see, yeah. Past life number 1, present life is 2, and the last one is the future. Okay. And it should be put in this way, in a real way, because if in the sentence you are unable to see, I mean the lives, the time span, it has to penetrate to 3 lives that will be we call it as the dependent origination. By knowing the dependent origination, you will notice that our life are based on a condition, and it is not created by the God, or it won't happen by any accidents. This is so important. We're able to find all the elements which will create our life. Okay, Amanda finish. Okay. Amanda, are you using print screen, right? You don't copy, right?
No, I draw.
You draw so fast. You may be good in lukisan, I think. I think you
simple one.
Oh, you say, are you using print screen? You're so soon you do nothing. Print screen, high tech guy, technology savvy. Okay.
Sifu, I got a question.
You can ask now, yes. Kamling is drawing. Okay, you can ask now, yes.
From ignorance to mental formations to consciousness, right? It looks like an arrow going the one direction. So does it means that all these like related to each other and then it's like a cycle?
No, it should be going in a cycle. Ignorance is the cause. Mental formation is the effect. Mental formation is the cause. Then it becomes consciousness as an effect. It go in this way. Okay. Okay. I just explained the simple. Later on, we will tell you more complicated. Facts we provide to you all later on. In a simple way, you see just it go in one direction only. Okay, Kamling, finish your pizza. Finish. Okay. So now we go to the next paragraph. Let's take a look. Okay. So basically, class, you all already finished this. Okay, now we will go to the okay. Why do we mention the dependent origination? Okay, so class maybe okay. Okay. Yes. Sally, can you on your mic? The rest, please follow me. Please follow us. Read the terminology, so that you are more familiar. Okay. The rest of your mic, Sally on the mic. Please read together with me. Okay. Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Mental formations.
Mental formations.
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
Mind and matter.
Mind and matter.
Six senses.
Six senses.
Then it's let's say it's
contact.
Contact, yes, contact. Feeling.
Feeling.
Craving.
Craving.
Attachment.
Attachment.
Becoming.
Becoming.
Birth.
Birth.
Aging
and death.
Okay. Second time again. Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Mental formation.
Mental formations.
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
Mind and matter.
Mind and matter.
Six senses.
Six senses.
Contact.
Contact.
Feeling.
Feeling.
Craving.
Craving.
Attachment.
Attachment.
Becoming.
Becoming.
Birth.
Birth.
Aging and death.
Aging and death.
Okay, so this is we call it once there's an ignorance, there is a mental formation. Once there's a mental formation, there's a consciousness. It is so on. Okay, but at the same time, once the ignorance, okay, once I mentioned mental formation exists due to ignorance. Consciousness exists due to the formation. Mind and matter exists due to consciousness. If I mention in this way, meaning to say that I try to establish a karma effect or a karma rotation. Okay, but if let's say I mention in this way, once ignorance gone, mental formation gone. Once mental formation gone, consciousness gone. Once consciousness gone, mind and matter gone. It means what? It means extinction. Okay. Meaning to say that if you're able to make one thing's gone, one element gone, whole thing will gone. And the whole thing means what? means our life, keep on rotating, reincarnation. So if you're able, for example, remove the ignorance, then the whole wheel will disappear. So this is how Buddhists establish their way. For enlightened. This is the way how to establish it. Okay. At the same time, this is also how we establish, the cause and effect in our mundane life, in our mundane. Okay. So go to the next paragraph. Okay. Yeah. Okay. In general, let's see. Kamling, have you read? Kamling, have you read or not?
Not yet, not yet.
Oh yeah, please. Can you please your turn to read? In general.
Okay. In general, it is thought that the four truths and dependent origination are the small vehicle dharmas. People who think this do not know that these teachings are also evidence in all the profound Buddha dharmas of the great vehicle. As for the respective inclinations, it can be said that the small vehicle dharma emphasize the explanation of suffering and accumulation, while the great vehicle dharma emphasizes the extinction and the way, especially the explanation of extinction. For example, in the two sects, Madhyamaka and Yogacara of the great vehicle, the Madhyamikans on emptiness and the Yogacarins on dependent origination never departed from the scope of the four truth and dependent origination. It is clearly stated in the Sutra Srimala Devi Sinhanada Sutra that the four truths and the small vehicle are limited and require effort to become complete, whereas the four truths of the great vehicle are unlimited and require no more effort to be considered complete. It is also said in the Nirvana Sutra that people with less wisdom contemplate dependent origination and attain the enlightenment of a Sravaka, while people with superior wisdom contemplate dependent origination and attain the enlightenment of a Buddha. The Buddha Dharma never departs from the doctrines of the four truths and dependent origination. The only difference are in the partial or complete realization and the different levels of teaching.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Please highlight the point in general. Okay, next paragraph. Okay, class, let's take a look. Within these two paragraphs, okay, it mentioned that basically, most of the people think that, oh, these are Four Noble Truths, 12 link condition, they are only limit for the small vehicle. Okay, why there is a terminology as a small vehicle, Hinayana, and the great vehicle? Basically, small vehicle and the great vehicle we use to, to explain their vow. Okay, if let's say you wish to attain Nibbana, but at the same time you want to bring a big group of people together with you attain Nibbana, so that's we call as a great vehicle. But for small vehicle, maybe he will just stay maybe a few lifetime only, and at the same time, who is relevant to him, he will just help them and also bring them together to the Nibbana. So that is we call a small vehicle, because the lifetime they spend is very short, and the number of people he can bring to the Nibbana, also, he can help, also quite small only. But for the great vehicle, because since the Bodhisattva are able to stay for a very long time, many kapas, the Bodhisattva are able to stay, so he can lead, he can help. The number of people can help also quite huge, you see. So this we call as a great vehicle. Basically, in the great vehicle, we have two definitions. One is the Madhyamaka, one is the Yogacara. Well, it has something to do with the history of Buddhism, you see. So class, take a look. So this is all this Madhyamaka and also the Yogacara. Okay. In the simple way, Madhyamaka, they are all on emptiness. So they understand the teaching on emptiness from the scope of Four Noble Truths. But for Yogacara are on dependent origination, you see. So this we call, Madhyamaka and Yogacara. According to the history, Madhyamaka is established about 1st century after Christ. 1st century, and they begin now maybe in the northern part, in the southern part of India. So this is where the Madhyamaka. Class, take a look. So this is the Madhyamaka. See. Okay. According to the history of the Buddhism, they notice that. Okay, so this is Indian. It began from the southern part, Andhra Pradesh, is the Madhyamaka. So the Madhyamaka in the 1st century, they establish here, and then they start moving up here, and then they go up to Kashmir and Jammu, and they start spreading in the Afghanistan, Pakistan, and also in the Xinjiang. Then from here, they spread to the China. So this we call it as a Madhyamaka. And the establishment of the Yogacara is in the 3rd century, there is somewhere here. It's because as Ayodhya. It began here, Ayodhya. They established in the 3rd century. Then once they established here, they also start spreading. Okay, they start spreading, and then from here they go to the China again. Okay, they don't really go to China for this school. Basically, the teaching, they start the teaching and spreading somewhere here, and then Xuanzang he traveled from China to India. Then he passed by, the Kashmir and Jammu. So he gathered all the sutra Abhidhamma from the Yogacara, and then he bring back to the China and do the translation. So this is how we call it as a great vehicle, the teaching. They have a Bodhisattva precept of perception, you see. Okay, then so we finish here already. Okay, War people superior, yeah, okay. Okay, so class, I think we'll stop the class here. I give you 1 minute's time. Please close.